And is present.
Joe Perez present.
Joel Garcia present.
And Alexandra Flores present. Anybody want to excuse the,
I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Ramirez and Mayor.
I
is that a
second.
second? Okay, all in favor, motion by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Number 3, invocation and pledge of allegiance. Anybody want to lead the invocation? Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for allowing us to be here this evening at the City Council meeting. Please provide guidance and wisdom to our council members to make sure they do the best decisions in the interest of everybody in our community. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, number 4, certified posting of agenda.
Yes, Madam Mayor Pro Tem and council members, the agenda was posted as required by state law at least 72 hours prior to the start of the meeting.
Okay, very good, thank you. Number 5, we have public comments. Do I have to motion for that? No, okay. Public comments, we do have a public comment from Alberto Garza from the organization Lupe. Alberto Garza, puede pasar adelante, por favor. And the address for this location is in 2313 Spring Glen Drive. And the topic is pavement and lighting. Adelante, sir.
Sí, va a ser en español, me siento como...
Sí, claro que sí, está muy bien.
Thank you. Y sobre todo por mis compañeros que están aquí.
Sí. Bienvenidos a todos.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Creo que son 3 minutos, ¿verdad? ¿Por ahí?
Sí, 3 minutos.
Ok. Voy a tratar de ser breve. A diferencia de la primera vez que estuve aquí con ustedes, esto ya no es una petición, al contrario, va a ser un agradecimiento. Y como vecino de esta área por más de 30 años exactamente en la Spring Glen, un poco más en otra área, quiero decirles que no represento totalmente a toda la gente, mis compañeros, mis vecinos del Spring Glen, pero los conozco a todos. Y puedo decirles que vengo a darles un agradecimiento sincero, porque por 30 años veíamos nosotros ahí, todavía hace 3, 4, 5 años, veíamos imposible que nos tomaran en cuenta. La última vez que vine por aquí, yo les decía, nos sentimos olvidados. Nos sentimos que no existimos para aquí, para la ciudad. Afortunadamente, eso ya pasó. Y estamos muy agradecidos con el esfuerzo grande que hicieron, porque supimos de todos los problemas que se estaban teniendo para poder realizar ese proyecto, que el día que se terminó, créanme, nos sentíamos como niños. Salíamos, nos visitábamos, nos veíamos, todos ahí los vecinos, era una emoción como la estoy sintiendo ahorita. Gracias por eso. Quiero también decirles que estamos conscientes que los proyectos nunca terminan. Ya se terminó uno y siguen más. Las necesidades siempre están. Ustedes como representantes de nosotros aquí en la ciudad lo están viendo. Terminan un proyecto y hay una necesidad. A veces el tiempo nos hace ver de que hay cosas que se tienen que enfocar y quizá dejar unos proyectos que estaban por realizar otros, que son prioritarios. Y más que nada, más que hacer peticiones hoy este día, lo más importante fue el agradecimiento que tenemos para todas las autoridades, todos los que colaboraron con nosotros. Y pedirles que sigamos en comunicación. Todo esto también quiero decirles algo muy importante. Hay una palabra en español que, I don't know if I exactly word in English is, pero nosotros como cultura a veces somos muy decidiosos. En español es decidiosos.
Procrastination.
Yeah. So que es complicado a veces juntarnos, unirnos, y siempre tenemos una necesidad que a veces reunimos a este tipo de reuniones. Si ustedes se fijan en Spring Glen, tenemos más de 30 lotes ahí, 20 y tantos, 22 lotes. Yo tengo el número 1 y el número 22. Tengo 2 lotes ahí en la colonia, y aquí tengo mis compañeros, somos poquitos, porque somos decidiosos. Pero eso no quiere decir que no haya necesidades. Las necesidades siempre están allí. Entonces, agradezco también a Marco, que nos ha estado apoyando mucho aquí con la organización de la Lupe para poder unirnos un poquito. Y no se trata de que tengamos que venir al choque, hacer una petición con agresiones, con malas palabras o decir malas ofensas. No.
¿Y ustedes se juntan cada qué, sir? Si no...
Tratamos de, cada mes por ahí tenemos en la casa de Eduardo Barreiro, que es hasta
Sí,
all the way, allá.
En Costa.
Ahí él nos permite ahí en su casa estarnos un poquito reuniendo. No vamos muchos, pero ahí estamos en contacto. Y luego uno con otro nos damos a conocer qué es lo que está pasando. Y siempre hay de todo, ¿no? Terminó la calle y la luz y siempre va a faltar, sí, pero la luz, pero a mí no me da la luz, sí, pero la calle, pero y luego aquí la orillita, ¿no? Siempre. Pero en general estamos todos muy contentos y muy agradecidos. Y antes, yo sé que ya estoy a punto de terminar,
Sí.
nada más pedirles, no nos abandonen todavía. Hay una necesidad muy grande ahí. En tiempo de aguas, de fuerte lluvia, el canal que tenemos a un lado no es suficiente para desaguar esa colonia. Y somos la colonia, al fin, es donde comienza el canal y luego ya sigue todo lo que da allá. So que les pedimos, no nos abandonen, sigan al pendiente. Queremos, si nos pueden informar qué proyectos hay, de lo que a ustedes les corresponde y qué podemos hacer nosotros si es que hay que ir a otro lugar más arriba, con algún otro comisionado, con el condado, para que ese canal siempre esté limpio. Si vamos ahorita, está la hierba así tremenda, el mero medio ahí. Y eso va a provocar que en una fuerte tempestad vamos a padecer ahí. So que por mi parte nomás quiero también pedirles alguna información sobre, tenemos en esa colonia, en esa calle, rápidamente, una familia con problemas de audio y habla. Entonces necesitamos por ahí algunos anuncios para ponerlo en la calle, para que las personas estén ahí, atentas, sobre todo aquellos. Hemos visto que hay muchas gentes que pasan como rayo por ahí. No sé si sea posible que nos autoricen algún tope por ahí. No sé si esto es válido. Y escuchamos algún dinero que sí va a ser para el drenaje. No tenemos información y no queremos especular, no queremos saber ni poner el dedo sobre eso. Pero si ustedes nos pudieran ayudar en eso, ¿qué se puede hacer ahí? Se los agradeceríamos mucho. En fin, esto es más que nada la participación que Spring Glen viene a hacerles aquí a ustedes.
Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, sí. Y pues de parte de la comisión, muchas gracias por haber tomado el tiempo de venir a tomar su tiempo personal, ¿verdad? Para venir a la Junta a mostrar su agradecimiento. De veras que sí nos toca el corazón, me imagino que a todos, ¿verdad? Estas decisiones no son fáciles de hacer, pero se hacen porque estamos aquí para trabajar para la comunidad. Es la razón principal por cual estamos aquí. Y no sé si alguien les quieran dar información sobre the grant, the GLO grant, before they leave, para que estén bien informados antes de irse.
We have an item on the agenda, 9.2, that we're going to talk specifically about the drainage for Spring Glen.
Okay.
Relates to that. So Ms. Annette let them know that they can stick around so they can hear that item. And once we're done with this, maybe we can take it out of order so we can get it done quickly.
Sí, yes. Okay. So, sí hay un artículo en la agenda donde vamos a tocar sobre ese tema, pero antes de que se vayan, para que se los expliquen claramente a ustedes. Sí. Okay. Was that the only one, Annette?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, number 6, public hearing.
Or if you'd like, we can, with your permission, we can go straight to item 9.2, take it out of order, so.
Sure.
And then we'll go to the public hearing, because there's gonna be a little bit of time there, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that. Do I need to ask for a motion? No? Okay, so we're gonna,
We're gonna
okay,
just
so we're
read
gonna
it.
move to 9.2.
It's an update.
So 9.2 is under new business. It's an update on grant award for $1 million to Hidalgo County for drainage projects increasing flood resiliency in the city of Palmview.
So, Madam Mayor, and I'm gonna try to English and Spanish a little bit. Last week, we got called to Westlaco because about 6 months ago, we asked the state for money for drainage projects. Le pedimos al Estado dinero para los proyectos de drenaje. La ciudad, for the area on Showers Road south of the expressway, por la Moorfield acá por la 495, los veteranos, y luego para Spring Glen, con el diche de atrás, lo estábamos juntos con Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, con el condado. Ellos están encargados del diche ahí, están responsables de ahí. So fuimos con ellos, we went with them, we told them what the issues were over here. Que in heavy rains, we know that ese canal, ese diche se llena, it gets full. So, ¿qué pasa cuando el agua se queda en la calle? It stays on the streets y va hasta las casas. So aquí está la Spring Glen y aquí está el diche acá atrás abajo. So what the county told us, what the drainage district nos dijeron, nosotros tenían un plan para hacer esto un poquito más grande. No tienen suficiente lugar para hacerlo muchísimo más grande, no, lo que quieran hay. Y para hacer lo que dice un retention pond acá atrás, donde se queda la agua, en vez de ir para el ditch, instead of going into the ditch, a retention pond, the water stays here, so ya no tiene tanto en el diche, y luego va a correr para acá, y luego para el sur. Este proyecto era $1 million. So, sí los apoyó el Precinct 3, Commissioner Ever Villarreal in the Drainage District. So, nosotros mandamos for our projects y ellos mandaron para este proyecto. So, la semana pasada, last week, we go to Westaco. They didn't tell us what it was about. They said, come meet the General Land Commissioner del Estado. So, we went and they said, hey, guess what? City of Palmview, you got awarded a grant. Nos van a dar $600,000 para Riverside. Todavía tenemos pendiente del Moorfield. Y aparte de eso, al condado, for the county, they awarded them $1 million to do this project. This was huge.
So sí se dio los dineros, los fondos para empezar este proyecto.
Sí.
Para el condado, right?
¿Mande?
El condado, sí, I'm sorry, sí, el condado.
Al condado, right?
¿Mande?
Se lo dieron al condado.
Al condado.
Yes,
sí,
al
no,
condado.
no, the
No.
county's going to be the lead, because it's their ditch. El ditch is theirs, right? It's their responsibility. They took the lead. In fairness to them, they could have picked any other project elsewhere. They picked this one. And all 4 precinct commissioners got together and said, look, we're not going to all submit our projects and compete against each other. We'll support one. They all supported precinct 3 in this project. And this is a project that got funded. And as mas, when the project, you read the headlines for this project that says City of Palmview improvements.
Sí.
Like, hey, okay, man, we'll
Sí.
take it. This is great news. Because that was $1 million. That was going to be a lot of money. Aquí de la ciudad estamos esperando otra que viene, because what are we going to do if not? Because we know there's drainage issues in that area. We did the street improvements, we did the street paving, we put up the street lights, and the thing that was pending, probably the biggest one, the most important, is the drenaje. So this is huge. This is an update item. We'll be working with the Hidalgo County Drainage District as they move forward. Again, they'll take the lead and they'll do the project, but we're going to be part of those discussions, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll know more.
Okay.
That's just an update.
So todavía no sabemos cuándo anticipar el inicio de este proyecto, pero ya lo bueno es que los fondos ya están, se los van a dar al condado y vamos a seguir adelante con los planes.
Y eso no nomás le viene a Spring Glen, pero también el otro lado del 492, acá en la calle Jamie Circle, same thing, Jamie Circle is right here, and the water goes into the same ditch, y se llena de volar, y pum, la agua viene para atrás. And that goes all the way here, that lateral, here to Minnesota Road, and then it cuts here, and it connects to this big canal we have back here.
Yeah.
So it is one of the main drainage systems that we have north of the expressway.
Sí,
So again, this is huge.
sí, fue muy buenas noticias para todos. Very good news.
One last note, por parte de los speed bumps, si quieren hablar con Rudy Flores, que hay chance, si hay un proceso, si quieren hablar por parte de los speed bumps con Rudy, proceso.
Y for the signs, for the
Okay.
signs, yeah. Okay, bueno, that was that item, but we're gonna go ahead and jump back to number 6, opening the public hearing. Do I have a motion to open?
I make a motion.
A second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Any questions? Number 6.1, consideration to rezone from its present designated land use zoning single-family residential to multifamily residential. This is Carlos Lot 42, 604 North Lalos Drive. And Rudy?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. This lot's located on the east side of Lalos Drive, approximately 150 feet north of Lalos Drive South. The applicant is requesting multifamily residential to add an apartment to an existing duplex that's on the property. This requested zoning does not conform to the future land use map, which the future land use map is currently zoned as low-density residential. And after discussion, the Planning and Zoning Board did vote to table the item. They would like more information on the size of the property in reference to parking, to see if it's able to accommodate additional parking on the property. So,
Okay, but you said it's already been in operation as a, what was it, a duplex?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they're requesting to add one additional unit.
Oh, okay, you want to add to it,
You
okay.
don't have enough parking?
Is there a second page to that, I think, Lieutenant, can you,
The,
should be a page 2?
I haven't been out there to actually measure, but it's gonna be tough to get
How do you go
additional
with planning and
parking.
zoning? I mean,
They voted to table it to get more information in reference to that parking situation.
Did we send out any surveys to see what the surrounding
Yes,
was?
we did. We did send out 27 letters, and we did not receive any in favor or against.
Okay. Do we have anybody here
Yes,
that
we
maybe
do have
wants to
Miss
say something?
Moya, who's the owner.
Okay, pues yeah, if we can have her come and just fill us in a little bit on the situation.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name's Yadira Moya, and I am the owner of the property. And as mentioned before, it is a duplex, so it has been a multifamily already. However, it is zoned as a single family. But the problem I know that with the planning and zoning, their issue was the parking. So now I did have a contractor go out there and part of my property, and I do have some of the measurements and pictures that I actually went out there this past weekend. There is parking for 6 slots. So we
Okay.
are already working on that. The contractor, like I said, we are going to initiate the parking spaces, and there will be, in the case in the future that we do decide to add that unit, we do need it to be zoned multifamily instead of staying as is.
Okay.
Again, it's always been a multifamily since the 80s. However, it's stated and zoned as single.
Okay.
As mentioned, the only concern I know that they had mentioned was the parking spaces. If we do add 2, there has to be 2 spaces for each unit, and there is space, and I already have a contractor working for that for 6 spaces for each
Okay.
in that area.
To make
Because there will
the
be 2
8.
for each.
Sí.
Right now it's 2, and if we add another unit, we would do 3. So there would be 6, a total of
okay.
6 spaces.
So it doesn't sound too bad. Is this a motion item, or do we know?
After
who
the
to-
hearing, it is gonna be an action item.
Okay, so after they bring it back. Okay.
Yes, so it's just for y'all to consider what it is already, and just so it can
Sí.
be zoned as what it has been, the multi.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Next item. There's still another item? No, 6.2. 6.2, we have consideration for a conditional use permit requested by ITSE dash 2001 LLC for 1 year for a grill and bar at Palmview Commercial Plaza, Lot 12 in 201 Palmview Drive.
Yes, this property is located on the west side of Palmview Drive, approximately 340 feet north of the frontage of Interstate 2. The applicant is requesting the conditional use permit to open a bar and grill. The facility is currently open as an existing restaurant, so the use would be similar. The hours they're planning on operating are from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. There would be requirements that they would need to follow, as far as make sure that others are not parking in other people's properties. They would need to make sure that that is a requirement that they follow. Of course, keeping their property clean, free of litter, stuff like that. And after the discussion, the Planning and Zoning Board did vote to approve this conditional use permit.
Okay.
And we do have Mr. Morin, who's a representative for the owner as well.
Okay. Come on up, Mr. Morin.
I'm here representing the 2 owners that are there for the ITIS 2001 LLC. I
Sí.
just want to announce that our primary business is going to be food. And Ram, the one that owns the property next door, Excalibur Restaurant and Hotel, has some concerns, and we're gonna do what he wants. We're gonna build a wall on the north side to help with the trash coming over, with the noise. I will be going to planning to ask how high we can build a fence, either 6 feet or 7 or 8.
See.
We just don't want any noise or whatever. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go rent at the motel, of course you want to go to sleep and no interference. So that, I just wanted to announce that we're gonna make a fence.
That's great. Thank you so much for
Continue
for
having a good day.
accommodating.
Okay.
Thank
I'll talk
you.
to planning how high we can build it.
Okay.
Yes, you can get with Rudy on that one.
Okay. Continue having a good day. God
Yes, thank you. God bless. Okay, do I have a motion to close the
Make a motion.
public hearing? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and then end of public hearing. 6.3, we have discussion and possible action to rezone from its present designated land use zoning, single-family residential. This one, we said we were gonna, we are gonna, now it's in action,
Have
okay.
you gotten anything back from the planning and zoning? They're still waiting?
On that one, I think, no, there was no, right, Rudy, no response?
They tabled it.
Oh, the board?
So I think the right thing to do is for us to table it also until they get the information, right?
But because they were missing the measurements, right?
Yes, it was because, it was just more information on the parking, just to
So-
make
so they
sure
have it?
it's, we don't have it yet. We haven't taken it to, planning and zoning in reference to that, but, the owner said that they have the information, but we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Then I'll make approval subject to review and legal looking at the,
Subject to what? To planning and zoning approving or?
no, to approve.
Right, but, you're making the motion subject to them submitting the required documentation?
Sí, sí.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a conditional approval subject to Mr. Flores receiving the documentation for the parking situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, so that was approved on the condition that they turned in the plans that they were missing. Okay.
What documentation would that be for?
See, Rudy will get with you on that, but I believe it's what you have. The measurements. Yes, thank you. 6.4, discussion and possible action for a conditional use permit requested by ITSE-2001 LLC for 1 year for a grill and bar at Palmview Commercial Plaza, Lot 12, 201 Palmview Drive. Do I have a motion?
So move for approval.
A second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, and next we have old business. 7.1, discussion and possible action to rezone from its present designated land use zoning agricultural open interim to general business, with an exception to allow the permitted use of the medical equipment warehouse and only allow non-CDL 26-foot medium-duty trucks with up to 10,000 pounds payload. This is from Citraland Farms.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any information on this
That
one?
was the one that we had on the agendas in the past, but it
It's
was
a-
for commercial mixed-use business. So the council said, you know what, let's make sure that we're clear on the language that this is to general business.
See, so basically the restriction here is the amount of weight that's gonna be allowed to
Exactly. Not
travel down that street into.
And it's
Okay,
general business, not heavy
Heavy,
commercial.
heavy commercial, which it was before, which is,
okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, so moving on, number 8, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion and present agenda, 8.1.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to number 9, new business. 9.1,
Is that one right? You did 9-1?
no, we did 9.2 only,
We
no?
did 9.2, we talked about a little bit of 9.1, but we can expand on that.
Oh, okay.
You wanna
Okay.
read that?
See, 9.1 is approval to accept the 2018 CDBG-DR grant from Texas General Land Office, also known as the GLO, for the City of Palmview Riverside Drainage Project in the amount of $540,475,000.61, staffed by City Manager.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Can you just tell us a little bit about it so we can inform the,
Yes, little bit of info.
Again, this was an announcement that we received last week in Westaco. So we know Riverside subdivision, South Showers Road, this subdivision was built in the 80s. It didn't become City of Palmview till like 2013 or 2015. and has no drainage at all. So anytime it rains, we have to go out there and pump every single time. So this plan that we got funded and awarded, in all the cul-de-sacs, it'll install a pipe underneath the ground. It'll have pipes at the end of each cul-de-sac, you know, inlets, the water will go down. It'll go to the back, towards the back of the fleet market. There's an existing detention pond right there that will be widened and then hopefully expanded right here as well to make it even bigger in capacity. And then it'll go to Silver Spur right here, go south and make its way down kind of towards Old 83. Again, this is a big project for us. The engineers have done the preliminary designs. Now that we have the funding from the state, in 2 weeks we should have a project manager assigned who will kind of coordinate the schedules, and we can let the public know more timelines. But we
In
expect
2
to have
weeks?
it. Yeah, 2 weeks.
So,
Okay.
so the timelines, we don't know until in 2 weeks.
No, right. Then we'll have a person assigned to us that's going to tell us the details. But you know, from what I understand, it should be 60 to 90 days where they can start actual construction.
Okay, that's
This is
good.
huge.
That's great. Yes, it is huge. And again, just to inform the public, these grants do take time and information, gathering of information, data, to actually get them awarded. So I want to say a big thank you to the previous council that initiated this, this application. So thank you for that. We already went over 9 point, okay, so we
9.3.
motioned, we got a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We already touched on number 9.2, moving on to 9.3. Discussion and possible action on approval of the Palmview Municipal Library policies and procedures staffed by city staff.
I'll make a motion.
Second, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have something ready, Ms. Irma, or we were just,
This is just the policies and procedures so that we can set fines, we can set how they can check out a book and stuff like that. So this
Great.
gets us
We're-
going.
and who did we reach out to for that assistance or that?
The Hidalgo County Library
Okay.
system, all of the libraries have been great. In particular, Mission, Peñitas, Edinburgh, and San Juan.
Awesome, great, that's good to hear. Thank you so much for that update. 9.4, discussion and possible action to amend and extend contract for solid waste collection and disposal service and Republic Services. Staff by City Manager.
As we discussed at our last workshop, our agreement with Republic Services ends at the end of March 31st. So this allows us to extend it for 3 months through the end of June, so we can get the last of our residential equipment. So July 1st, we expect to start picking up trash ourselves, residential trash and brush as well, since council already approved the brush truck. And then we have another item that we're going to discuss as well. But again, this just gets us through to the end of June.
I thought it was gonna be until June.
They gave us the option to do it June 1st at the end of May. But they'll work with us even, this is extended through July, through the end of June as opposed to the beginning, just to make sure that we're not rushed and that we have all the equipment, and then we have time to train the drivers on that equipment, because that brush truck we're not getting until the first week of May, and then they have to learn the routes and get trained and things of that nature. But our goal and target is still, to start June 1st, and Republic did advise that we can transition soon.
Okay, so that would be,
Are we planning on keeping the same routes so that the way everybody's kind of conditioned to take out their trash will remain? That's the goal, right? I mean,
The same dates, right? The same days?
Okay,
Companies need to reinvent the wheel, they already did the work for us, we're just gonna do
Yeah.
the same thing.
Are they gonna give you the schedule?
We have the schedule already, so what are the routes, and our guys will follow them and kind of learn the routes, so to speak.
okay. All right, that was a motion item. Did we get a?
I make a motion. I don't think it was a motion. We just wanted to get information on the timeline and dates. I make a motion.
Pues
9.4.
says- It's an action item. Okay, so I have a motion and a second? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. 9.5, discussion and possible action to award by board contract number 601 through 19 vendor Doggett Freightliner of South Texas LLC for the purchase of one Freightliner Rotobeck Grapple Stellar roll-off truck in the amount of $276,000 and $240,000 plus warranty options not to exceed 6 years or $5,000 and authorize.
I'll make a motion. Is that the one we talked about last time?
Actually,
This
this
is
is
the one.
another one. The one that we talked about last time, we've already voted on and we moved.
Yes.
That's the one that's gonna go to show in November.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We're gonna get this, but This one just came out literally off the press. We're constantly,
Okay.
Mr. Cesar, I gotta give him credit, constantly looking for other options, because we know that if we wait for the ones that we ordered, who knows how long we're waiting. So this one would allow us to take advantage of a truck that's already on site, that's being finished up, that we could get also in May. And originally, our budget, when we did this, we allocated for 2 brush trucks and 1 roll-off truck. The roll-off truck gets those big canisters, ¿verdad? This truck can double up as a brush truck and a roll-off container, so it can actually do both. So while we budgeted for $575,000 total, if we take advantage of this opportunity, we have our 2 brush trucks, we have a built-in roll-off truck, and we'll save about $58,000 from what we originally budgeted for. So this,
Okay.
they just brought us this on Friday, and we know how these things go, that we need to take advantage of if
Yeah,
there's an opportunity.
and this is in, what timeline do we have for getting this?
I think it was also mid-May, no, Cesar?
So it's all in May?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
that's
we'll be ready,
really,
right?
So by July 1st, we should be,
we're gonna have to hit the ground running
Going
whenever they come in.
yeah.
I hope we already know
Yeah,
who the truck drivers are
that's
gonna
great.
be.
I have made a motion.
No. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Just make sure, I guess, to start informing the public, because I know we know, but we need to emphasize that a lot, because so they can know that we are doing this now out of our own city instead of getting a third party. And we have more control over the waste management that you all have. So at the same time, we kind of want to inform the public about the paying online, so we have that in current, because now it's going to be a city, I guess,
Service. A city
service,
service.
rather than an outside service that we have done for many, many years. So
Absolutely, this is huge, another big step for the city. The city of Magana has been wanting to do a story, the media reached out and said, let's wait till we make sure that we have the equipment, so we have a good start date that we can say with confidence. Now we have that, so expect Ms. Irma to work on that. We
Yeah.
need to educate the public and prepare them. We already have all the trash cans that say City of Palmview. We have 1 truck with 2 trucks coming in May, so on the residential side, we feel confident we're gonna hit that date in July 1st, maybe even June 1st, if we transition quicker.
Good job.
We do
Awesome.
have just for the record, we do have a driver on our drainage team that's gonna be pushed into that driver, and then we just need to hire another one and then train him. But again, we'll be ready.
Yeah, let's post those job
so
openings.
it
please.
includes more job openings for city as well. So that's always a great thing.
We're creating jobs.
Yes, awesome. Next item, 9.6, discussion and possible action to adopt workers' compensation policy, staffed by HR department. So I
I
have a
second.
motion, do I have a second?
I
Any
second.
questions? Well, I would like to hear what you're gonna present. Jerry, please.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. This policy, it just gives a little bit more guidance to directors, supervisors on how, and employees on how to handle workers' compensation and their benefits under workers' compensation. And I included a little bit of our third party and how to contact any, there's a phone number there that you can contact in case you
Like the
need
insurance
more
agent,
assistance.
uh-huh.
Right. And then there's also a little bit of provisions that you can't just go to your doctor, your family doctor. They need to be under the political alliance of workers' compensation division, which is approved by TML. So just there are little benefits that that they can get. Also, we're including injury leave benefit. So before we were deducting their sick leave and all that for getting injured at work, and we discussed, as management, we discussed, well, that's not really fair because they got hurt here at the workplace. So why are we charging their PTO
Yeah.
when they were conducting work? So a little extra benefit that we're also getting is that during their workers' comp injury leave, they're entitled to that benefit
those funds,
of injury
yeah.
leave. And then also reporting, they have to make the commitment to report to me and visit with me so I can know their status and their availability to coming back, whether light duty or full duty. But it gives a little bit more detail and guidance on how to proceed with workers' comp.
Is there gonna be a meeting for this? Like, are you gonna have a staff meeting? How do you plan to disseminate the information?
I usually send it over as an email to the directors, and the directors, they disseminate to the departments and to their employees. Usually, I kind of go over the rules and regulations on a case by case, on an as needed basis. But like I said, if the directors are willing for me to share it with if they're willing to form a directors or department meeting on their behalf, I'm more than welcome to present it there and give them, answer any questions or.
What
Okay.
we'd like to do anytime we roll out new policies that we've done in the past is have an acknowledgement form, so the employee acknowledges that they received a copy, and that's a great opportunity for them to ask any questions to make sure that they understand it, so, you know, in
See.
the future, there's no question of, hey, I didn't know, or they weren't advised.
Yeah. Is there any way we can ask maybe the insurance representative, the provider that we have, come and help conduct these presentations with the directors? I just feel like they might have a little bit more information.
The thing
They
with
have
them is
questions.
that they don't oversee our workers' comp benefit. They only
Okay.
they only oversee our health, life
Okay.
insurance, the supplemental health benefits and all that. So the risk management aspect of it, they don't oversee.
Sí, sí, sí.
So it's pretty much on my own on that
Got
part, on
it,
the risk
got it.
management side of
Okay.
it, so. But as far as any health care and how to stay safe, yeah, they can definitely help us. you know,
Okay.
so how to work
Sounds good.
safer.
Yes, thank you so much,
Yes,
Jerry.
thank you.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Madam, Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion for approval on 9.7, 9.8, and 9.9.
I second.
Okay, do I have, all in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, and
It's
just,
approval of resolutions, is that correct? For Crime Stoppers Police Department, thank you, Chief, for getting a lot of those
Crime
grants for that.
Stoppers.
So I know you're working, getting us monies for that, and thank you, staff, for allowing the fact that we have an audit that is now available for people to oversee that and getting those grants. So thank you, staff, for that.
This is just to apply for the grants. If they're awarded, then we'll come back and we'll give you all the details of how it works.
okay.
So forth. It's
Well,
just to
thank you
submit
for
the
that initiation. So for the public's information, the 9.7, 9.8, and 9.9 are applications for grants on behalf of the police department
Correct.
and Crime Stoppers.
Correct.
Okay.
Resolutions are part of the process, the application form.
Okay, thank you. And I did get the motions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
9.10, requesting authority to solicit request for qualifications.
Yeah, we voted. Okay, okay, let's call it.
Request-
Yes.
Yeah, we voted.
Okay. So 9.10 is requesting authority to solicit requests for qualifications, RFQs, for architectural services for municipal facilities staffed by city manager.
Real quick here, this just allows us to solicit qualification packets from architects to have them on file in the need we have current projects or future projects, kind of establish a pool, so to speak. We're not hiring anybody, we're not engaging anybody. If we feel there's a need, we have somebody qualified, then that'll go to council and you guys decide if you want to hire them.
I'll make a motion.
To negotiate.
It's not an action item, is it?
It's an action
It's
item,
an,
just to request
it's to
qualification.
request it.
Okay, well, second.
The authority, right.
Okay, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And number 10, we have monthly department reports. 10.1 is city secretary.
I don't know if we want to go one by one. What we've been doing now is we do have the packets on the agenda. The department heads are here. If there's anyone in particular that you want to hear from, you can call them up. There are two that we usually focus on a few. I do want to touch on two.
Okay.
10.4 Parks and Rec. Real quick here, Mr. Lugo and Ms. Annette Villarreal have been working on soliciting sponsorships for signage at the baseball fields. Something that we've been talking about for a while. So, Mr. Lugo, can you give us a brief update on how that's going together with Ms. Annette? I think Mr. Lugo is focusing on the local business and Ms. Annette is working on the ones that would usually sponsor our events.
And these,
Mayor Pro Tem and City
Yes,
Council.
welcome, Mr. Lugo.
Good evening, Robert Lugo. This has been going on for a couple of years. We finally put it together. Mr. Leo was the one that started it. And we've had Ms. Annette and Ms. Garza and myself it's been good teamwork. Right now, we're up to $11,000 as far as sponsorships, either through signs or team sponsorships. There's still some outstanding that we're still waiting. We sent out close to about 30 or 40 emails. I've been hitting the businesses, the small businesses, hopefully trying to get a sign, a 4x8 sign from those businesses. So our goal is to have maybe 10 per field There will be 40 signs. Of course, we won't stop there, but it will look nice. And those are 4x8 signs. They're not the small ones.
Sí.
Last year we had the field dedication for the fields, and that also was in the works for a couple of years. And then this has been talked about for about a couple of years also. So Mr. Leo finally put it together, and we start our spring baseball is the biggest for the year. We do it year round. We're expecting about 42 teams for the spring, and we start. Opening day is March 27th. Of course, we invite the council, we invite the baseball teams, the softball teams, and all our teams to be here and to recognize them. And then and also planning on inviting all the sponsors that are sponsoring our signs.
And those signs are gonna be placed on the fence? Is
On the
that
fence,
correct?
yes. Yes, on the outfield fence or in the backstop of the home
Yes.
plate, depending on the sponsorship level.
Oh, I see.
But there's some good levels, anywhere from $150 to $1,600.
And what's the time frame for those signs? Is it gonna be,
Well,
It's gonna be up for how long?
they're gonna be up for the
sign?
whole year.
Okay.
Since we do March to March, so we do baseball year round. We have over 100 teams easy that play baseball year round, and then we have the Pony All-Star tournaments in June, and then we have our own All-Star tournaments throughout the year. So it'll be good exposure for all those businesses to have their signs out there.
And these funds will be used how?
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do is upgrade our pay on the officials.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year we had quite a few teams go to the World Series, and I think we spent over
okay.
$20,000.
Yeah, we have to come back to council and ask for more money to give to them, so.
And if I'm not mistaken, this year's going to be better than last year. We should have at least 4 to 6 teams go to the World Series also this year. So that's also part of an expense. So we're trying to at least cover some of that with this monies, and hopefully I can also foresee us being there opening day, and then parents are going to be seeing those signs, and they're going to be asking to get one of those also. So we're going to start taking them to get them started. That way on opening day,
They're up.
they're up. Yeah, there won't be no excuse why they're not up.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I'm a sponsor.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yeah.
Ya dijo, it's on record.
thank you so much, Commissioner.
Yes.
No, we
I've
had
been doing it for the last 30 years.
we've had a good response, and like I said, there's still like 30 that we still are waiting for, and then I haven't finished hitting. I'm going down the frontage road and just hitting all the small businesses, and
Hopefully
hoping
you're gonna have enough fence.
to get That'd be a good problem not to have. So I mean, but we got 4 fields, and we can put signs out there.
Yeah, we encourage the business community, if anybody's interested, contact the Parks Department or here at City Hall at 432-0300, so we can assist them here.
But I do want to thank Mr. Leo. He put that letter together, and it was very, very, very well done.
Awesome, Mr. Leo. Thank you very
Yes,
much for
yes,
that.
yes.
Thank
COVID
you.
slowed us down and put it on hold, but we kept it up, so thank you to the road, Ms. Annette, and the team on here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
they've been
you.
a big help. Yeah.
Teamwork.
I couldn't do it without them.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
The last one that we want to call on is on the police department. Chief Trevino is doing the report a little bit differently, so we're going to have him walk through it to show what the difference is, and then we'll close it up with that.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. I talked about this a little bit when I first started about our ComStat reporting, compile statistics in our police department. So we'll go on to the next slide. So here we have our patrol and training unit goals, and you'll see some of the enforcement, prevention, and training things, anywhere from continuing to participate in federal and state-funded law enforcement initiatives, all the way to identifying police officers for different types of courses, certifications, things that we want to implement within the department for the city. The last one has already been implemented. It is already currently used, is the watch log function in our RMS system, which allows for citizens to call in and report anything if they have any suspicious activity, reckless drivers, things like that. So they're added to that watch log, and they're on there for a minimum of 14 days. They can always extend it even longer. For example, the gentleman that came in from Spring Glen, he talked about reckless drivers and speeders. I went and talked to them. We're gonna add that street to the watch log. So how the way that watch log works is the sergeant will print out that watch log every shift, give it to each officer. So that particular watch log or area is patrolled every shift by every officer. So you'll see multiple rotations of officers going through those neighborhoods, going through those businesses, going through those hotspot areas. So that's what that is. Here I composed also like a fleet maintenance just to keep everybody abreast of, some of the things that we're moving forward with. This was just for January. So almost $7,000 in expenditures in fleet maintenance. So I am currently working, we do have a auction going March 4th, and we're also working some other initiatives with Fiesta Chevrolet with some two new units that they were able to acquire for us. So we're moving forward to cut this cost down. It's just getting too expensive with the current vehicles that we have. This will add a little bit more as we go. This is our watch log summary, kind of what I talked about. So for the month of January, we had 34 alarm calls. Vacation watch, that's something that I'm gonna implement. That's a form that I'm gonna implement on our website. So citizen A goes on vacation in June for 2 weeks. They fill out the form, submit it via email or through the login or online, and then we receive it and we add it to the watch log. And they can put up to things like they would like for the officer to check the doors, check the windows. These are the vehicles we're leaving out in front, things like that. And of course, a good contact number or somebody that can respond to the residents or the place of business in case we do end up discovering some type of vandalism, burglary, things like that.
Is that an online submission, or does it have to be?
It can be either or.
Emailed or what?
What we're gonna get to is an online submission.
Okay.
As of now, when I go talk to the public or I have presentations, things like that, I'm letting them know that they can always still call and do it through the watch log. It's gonna be done through the same system. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it more convenient to do it online and submit it through there so we can get it quicker and process it.
And this would be done obviously on the officer's downtime, right? Like when they're not on a call or
Correct,
couldn't.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
And it's gonna work just like the watch log as far as extra patrols. Every shift will get it at the beginning of each shift and every officer will get it. And all those vacation watches will be there and all those watch logs will be on there. So they'll go and patrol these areas on their downtime, correct.
So it's maybe not a guarantee they're gonna get to everybody if the
We don't-
list is lengthy.
Exactly, because sometimes,
Yes.
evening shift is very
Yeah.
busy, but then night shift could slow down a little bit, and then we'll have those officers patrol through there in the morning, and, it just coincides.
Okay.
Yes. This is the individual officer activity report for January. It's broken down by shift A, shift B, and shift C, also by individual officer. Number of calls for service, number of arrests, and number of actual reports that they actually took and documented.
Okay, my understanding is Sergeant Cordero's not with us anymore. Is that still?
Correct. So this was for January. So he was still employed during January. So that's why he's still added there on the list there. for
Do we
shift
know
C.
who's gonna replace him, or who's gonna take over that?
I'm currently in the
sergeants?
process for the sergeant
Okay.
promotional process.
Okay.
This is a complete activity overview, year-to-date comparison. So on the right-hand side on the brown, you'll see that's year-to-date 2022. Now, the first one in red is year-to-date 2023 for the month of January. Now, those numbers will increase because it's gonna be year-to-date. So in February, it'll increase. It won't just be the numbers for February, so I don't want you to, freak out and say, whoa, in February we doubled in assaults or tripled in, in other offenses. So I also narrowed it down to non-criminal things like how many crash reports. We took 44 crash reports in the month of January alone. 27 assist other agency reports and other incidents, just overall minor incidents, things like that, 239. Traffic stops, DWI arrests, also community relations, community programs, 2 of them, motor vehicle assist 10, and I also included the risk management part of it as well. How many pursuits did we have? How many use of forces? How many fleet incidents and how many officer injuries during that year to date. This is our alert team. These are the 3 officers that are part of the regional SWAT team with the city of San Juan. So just indicating that they attended the training last month as mandated by TICO, and just indicating if there's anything specialized that they do, I'll add it there. That way y'all are aware what they do.
Great, that's good.
Trainings in January, we only had 1, which was a TML leadership training. We had that was 8 hours of instruction, and we had 3 attendees in that. This will be added later on in the summer. This is the Law Enforcement Explorer program. We're gonna have things like any events that they have, any functions that they have, anything of that sort, any activity will be also put into the crime.
They're very active. I'm very pleased with the youth that we
Right.
have, very enthusiastic to help wherever possible.
Sure.
So we need to take care of those
We will.
officers.
We're gonna continue with it. And then last, I just always end with a leadership quote, so. But that's gonna be the comm staff from here on out, and Mr. Deal wanted me to present this, that way I'm not gonna do it every month, but in case, you all look at it, this is the way it'll be uploaded on behalf of the police department. But feel free, if you have any questions at any time, you can
It's
always
gonna be
get with me.
uploaded where exactly?
It's on the I'm sorry, on your agenda package.
On the agenda.
Oh, okay,
On the site.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I do have a question as far as like maybe reporting any type of, I don't know, maybe if somebody feels targeted or maybe some type of, I don't know, they feel like they're being discriminated or harassment. What's the procedure for them to report that, and then who follows up? Who's supposed to follow up on that?
So in something like that, that's more along the lines like Title IX issues, things like that, that would probably have to be addressed. Is it internally, you mean? Like within
Yeah,
they would have to probably be addressed with Jerry, the HR director, yeah, because that falls along those lines of Title IX. They can always go to the director as well and address them with something. The only thing is we as directors, or I'll speak on my behalf, I cannot look into anything unless I have some type of formal written grievance, complaint, or things of that nature. But other concerns like that can be directly taken to Jerry with the HR division.
Okay, I think as long as that information is shared with all of the officers and encouraged in the case of this happening, right?
Sure.
So that it can be dealt with or it could be taken care of.
HR director, there is everybody acknowledged and signed a policy and procedure manual, and towards the back of the manual, there's a grievance policy, and it says step by step on how to handle a grievance. And yes, if it's a Title VII, sorry, Chief,
Sorry,
it's a Title VII.
I was used to Title IX and higher
Yeah.
education. We
Yeah,
deal
higher
with, like,
education,
harassment and stuff.
If it's Title
Thank you.
VII issues, I do step in as HR automatically, and then I kind of assess the situation to see if, obviously, getting with city attorney, but if it's something that it's more departmental issue, not really necessarily Title VII, then I forward it back to the proper chain of command so they can properly go through the channels and handle the grievance.
Okay.
And I just want
As
to
long
point
as
out that it doesn't matter if we pass out an employee manual or not. It doesn't matter if the employee signs it. It doesn't matter if they've been presented with it. As long as it's adopted by the commission, that's all that's needed for legal notice. So even if we didn't pass it out, even if we didn't give it, we're still bound by it.
And it is adopted by our policies.
Should be, yes.
See, okay.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. See, that information I feel is helpful for everybody to know.
My office is always open. I'm actually I'm on the route where everybody passes, so
See.
there is no need for no one to not stop by and ask questions if
Okay.
they're in doubt. I'm always available, always.
See,
So if I can, like I said, if I could be a resource, I'm there all the time.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
And that's all we have for departmental reports, unless you have any questions for other department heads, we can move on.
No? Okay. So number 11, executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.71, 551.72, 551.73, 551.74, 551.76, 551.87. Do I have a motion to open? Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we're gonna go ahead and end the meeting at not end the meeting, sorry. We're gonna open executive session 7:07.
Action under executive session.
Okay, then our meeting has ended. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in, and have a great evening
At 8:29.
at 8:29.